This is Basketball More Than a Game with coaches Goins and Quick. Former high school coach and player have teamed up again to share their knowledge of the game and life skills on and off the court. Brought to you by United States Basketball Association, the leader in youth basketball. USBAHoops.com. Now get ready to chop it up with coaches Goins and Quick.
All right, this is Coach Goins along with Coach Quick, and we are super excited as we kick off our inaugural show. So some people say, man, who is Coach Goins and who is Coach Quick? We've been on the grind for over 4 years with our podcast, Basketball More Than the Game. So if you've been checking us out on that platform, so now we are partnered up with ESPN 1240 The Boss, and you can also check us out on streaming, TuneIn on WTON, and that is the TuneIn platform. Coach Quick, man, how's your day going and what's popping?
Hey, what's going on, Coach G? Man, you want to know what's popping with Coach Q? Well, Coach Q is so excited, man. I'm super excited about our inaugural show on today. I'm excited about football season jumping off. Hey, I'm just excited. I'm ready to get started and get it popping.
Well, you know what? Let's go ahead and do this then. So our first segment is entitled Set the Table. And we'll do 4 segments, but our first one is called Set the Table, and it is brought to you by the United States Basketball Association. So visit their website at usbahoops.com, the leader in youth basketball tournaments and camps. So register today. So, Coach, I know you were talking about this whole Mount Rushmore, and what we're going to do today, folks, we're going to talk about the Mount Rushmore as relates to sports. And Coach Quick is going to kick us off. So, Coach, I know you've been having your hiking gear on and your chisel and your hammer. So I'm going to kick it over to you and let you kick this thing off.
Yes, sir, Coach G. Well, my Mount Rushmore for baseball, it may be a little bit different from everybody else's. But, hey, number one, I had to go with Barry Bonds, Derek Jeter, Roger Clemens, and Mariano Rivera.
All right. You know what? I ain't mad at your chiseling, right? But here's where I'm going to toss mine out, and then we'll go back, and then we'll have a little dialogue. So my Mount Rushmore baseball is none other than the Big Bambino, and that is Babe Ruth. My second one was none other than the Say Hey Kid, Willie Mays. And my third is none other than Mr. Ted Williams. And rounding out my Mount Rushmore baseball is none other than Hammer and Hank, and that's Hank Aaron. So with that, so you see there is difference, which is great, but what I'm going to do is ask Coach Quick. Now let's go back and let me ask you this. Why Derek Jeter on your Mount Rushmore?
Well, I went with Derek Jeter for the simple fact, number one, he was a guy that I actually got to watch, play the game, and played it at a high level. Derek Jeter was outstanding. He was the captain of the New York Yankees. He was just an outstanding baseball player. In some of his stats, I'll run down for you.
Please do.
2,747 games played, 1,923 runs, 11,195 at bats, 3,465 hits, 1,311 RBIs over a 20-year career with the Yankees. He was elected to the Major League Baseball Hall of Fame in his first year of eligibility in 2020. He received 396 of 397 possible votes, a 99.75 percentage, batting average of 310, 14-time All-Star, 5-time World Series champ, 2000 AL Rookie, he was AL Rookie of the Year, 2000 MVP of the American League, 5-time Gold Glove Award winner, 5-time Silver Slugger Award. That's why Derek Jeter's on my Mount Rushmore.
Well, you know what? I ain't mad at you, right? Because here's the thing. I'm a huge, and I hope everybody that is any baseball fan has been watching the ESPN show The Captain. What a great segment. Jeter has always played his hand very close to his chest, but during that portion of doing this series, he's kind of let his hair down, even though he doesn't have any anymore. But you're exactly right. And his story has been unbelievable. Being drafted, he was supposed to be in the top 5. He went number 6, and who had the 6th pick was nobody but the Yankees. And it's a storybook story, because it was almost like, the big fella upstairs sat down and scripted it up. He wanted to be a Yankee. and he was drafted by the Yankees. He wanted to be a shortstop, and that's where he played. And also, people don't realize that Derek Jeter's father, Dr. Jeter, played shortstop when he was in college. So listen, I agree with you totally on that. Now, here's who I want you to check out on my Mount Rushmore, if you don't mind.
Yes, sir.
So let me have a shot at this. So who I'm going to recognize is none other than the Say Hey Kid, Willie Mays. Now, as you said, you saw Derek Jeter play. I'm a little bit older than you are, and I got the opportunity to see Willie Mays play. Well, of course, he was on the way out, and when he was with the New York Mets. But here's his stats. He's 24-time All-Star, and he was a world champion one time, 1954. But in that, he finished up the Mets, the New York Mets, in 1973. When I used to live in New York as a kid, I remember going out to Shea Stadium and seeing the Mets play. Tom Seaver was there. But again, Willie Mays was 12-time Gold Glove. He won the Roberto Clemente Award. He was 4-time National League home run leader, 4-time National League stolen base leader. And they say pound for pound, he might have been the best outfielder of all time. Now check this stat out, Coach. I had to do some research because I know you were gonna bring your stuff. And so here's what I found out is that Willie Mays has, as an outfielder, has had over 7,000 outs.
Wow.
So over actually the number is 7,095 putouts as an outfielder. He was inducted into the Baseball Hall of Fame in 1979. So in that, we want to recognize Willie Mays, and his batting average was .302. He had 3,200 hits, 660 home runs, 1,900 bases or runs batted in, and he stole 338 bases. And he started off in the Negro Leagues, and he played for the Birmingham Black Barons, the New York and San Francisco Giants, and of course, he finished his stellar career with the New York Mets. So those are, Jeter as well as Willie Mays. I agree with you. Now, let me ask you this. I'm going to put you on the spot. Give me a rundown on another one of you guys.
Okay, I'm going to go with Mariano Rivera, another Yankee who I got the opportunity to see play. Mariano, games played, 1,115, and played 19 seasons for the Yankees from 1995 to 2013. Yankees closer for 17 seasons, 13-time All-Star, 5-time World Series champ, MLB's career leader in saves at 652, and games finished at 952. 5 American League Roll Age Relief Man Awards, and three Delivery Man of the Year awards, finished in the top 3 and voting for the AL Cy Young Award 4 times, inducted into the Baseball Hall of Fame as part of his class of 2019 in his first year of eligibility, and was the first and to date only player ever elected unanimously by the Baseball Writers Association of America. That's why Mariano Rivera is on my Mount Rushmore.
Well, Coach, I ain't mad at you because, what an outstanding selection. And people say, man, but you know what? That was Coach Quick's Mount Rushmore, and mine was who I said it was. So if you don't mind, Coach, go ahead and run your Mount Rushmore. You know what? You give one of yours, and I'll give one of mine. How about that?
Yes, sir. Derek Jeter.
All right. I had you know what? We're going to build our Mount Rushmore with us right now today. So you got Derek Jeter, and right beside Derek Jeter, I got Babe Ruth. Who you got?
Mariano Rivera.
And beside Rivera, I got Willie Mays.
Barry Bonds.
I've got Hank Aaron.
The Rocket, Roger Clemens.
And I've got Ted Williams. So, folks, that is who we recognize, and that's Coach Goins and Coach Quick recognizing our Mount Rushmore. Now, people say, well, how do y'all come up with that? You know what? That was our challenge. Coach Quick did his research. I did my research. We went some modern day. We went some guys from back in the day. But bottom line to it is, we just want to recognize the talent that we've seen play and talent that we didn't see play, but just through the history books. Because that's what we're trying to do, and that's what we will be doing with the GQ Coaches Show. And as we always say, the Real Talk in Sports is not just bring you a show that's just talking about history. We're going to be, splashing in the old as well as the new. Coach, what's your perspective on that Mount Rushmore of baseball?
You know, I tell you what, a great body of work for all those gentlemen that are on our Mount Rushmore. As you said, I went with modern day guys that I seen play, and you sort of went with guys that were back in the day, and I can't argue with any of those guys. Babe Ruth, Ted Williams, Hank Aaron, and Willie Mays. Those guys are absolutely great and had stellar careers. And as I've done research on them in the past, man, great body of work.
Well, you know what, Coach? I appreciate that, man. It goes both ways. So listen, we want to thank our sponsor for this segment, and that was United States Basketball Association, and for their continued support. And as we close out Set the Table, we want to remind you to check out their website at usbahoops.com. They are the leader in youth basketball tournaments and camps. So register today if you are interested in participating in a camp and or tournament with the United States Basketball Association. So listen, we're going to step away here from our sponsor. The United States Basketball Association, the USBA, was founded in 2005. The USBA has been a leader in grassroots basketball tournaments and camps for boys and girls of all ages across the United States, Canada, and Puerto Rico. It is our goal to develop young people and equip them with skills that will help them advance both on and off the court. Visit their website at usbahoops.com. Their email is info@usbahoops.com or by telephone at 704-649-6812. All basketball, all the time. And thank you for playing USBA. There's a lot of reasons why people trust Chris Montgomery at Alcova Mortgage. They have a diverse lineup of loan programs. So whether you're looking to buy a home, refinance, or tackle college expenses with your equity, you can put Chris Montgomery at Alcova Mortgage in the game for you. Call 540-290-0558 or go online to alcova.com/C Montgomery.
Looking for something fun but different to do? Join a group of friends, family, or co-workers to destroy electronics, break some glass, or even throw some axes. At the Havoc House located downtown Waynesboro, Virginia, visit their website at havochouseva.com and book your appointment today. Are you behind with your spring cleaning? Allow True Sparkle Cleaners to clean your worries away. A veteran-owned business who serves Fayetteville and surrounding areas, call Ashley at Sparkle Cleaners today for your free estimate. 910-781-8488, and we will clean your worries away. Looking for a smarter way to shop for your insurance for you and your families? Look no farther. There is help. With several different companies and plans to choose from, whether it's life insurance or Medicare supplemental plans, finding the right plan has never been easier. Licensed with multiple companies and able to shop various rates, plans to help find the best plan for you and your budget. Independent insurance broker Curtis Jackson is the one to call for help. Call Curtis now at 919-614-5796 for a no-cost consultation.
So, Coach Quick, man, great job with your Mount Rushmore baseball. Now, what we get ready to do is move into our second segment called The Game Plan. And the game plan is brought to you by a great friend, Mr. Chris Montgomery of Alcova Mortgage. When it's time to get in the game for your mortgage needs, please call Chris Montgomery at 540-290-0558 and tell him that you have heard that on the GQ Coaches Show. So, Coach, you know what? You kicked us off as related to the Mount Rushmore of baseball. Now, in this segment, the game plan, how about kicking us off for the football?
Yes, sir. My Mount Rushmore for football, I went more modern day again, guys that I got to see play. My first on my list, Tom Brady, followed by Jerry Rice, Lawrence Taylor, and Emmitt Smith.
Well, you know what? Guess what, Coach?
Yes, sir.
What if I told you on my Mount Rushmore? Well, you know what? I'll just go ahead and read mine then. So it's Tom Brady, Jerry Rice, none other than Joe Green, and Mr. Walter Payton. Now, Somebody may say, man, you guys had two of the same. That's exactly right. Because guess what? Coach Quick and I on the same ship always, but we may be on different decks. So in there,
Yes, sir.
you got Tom Brady, you got Jerry Rice, and I've got the same. So let's do this right here. I'm going to let you go ahead and out of your four, I want you to pick one, and I want you to talk about that one as relates to your favorite.
Okay, as far as my favorite guys, hey, I got to go with the defensive side of the ball. I went with LT, Lawrence Taylor. And plus, he's a Tar Heel, ladies and gentlemen. So, I went with him. Lawrence Taylor had a career of 1,089 tackles, 132 and a half sacks, not including 9.5 sacks he recorded as a rookie because sacks did not become official stat until 1982. 9 interceptions, 134 return yards, 2 touchdowns, 33 forced fumbles, 11 fumble recoveries, and 34 fumble return yards. 2-time Super Bowl champion, NFL MVP in 1986, 3-time Defensive Player of the Year, 1981, 82, and 1986, NFL Defensive Rookie of the Year in 1980, 81, 8-time First Team All-Pro, 81 to 86, 88, and 89. 2-time second team All-Pro, 1987 and 1990. 10-time Pro Bowler, 1981 to 1990. NFL sacks leader in 1986.
Well, you know what? I ain't mad at me. And you know what, folks? Here's the thing. I wasn't surprised he put Lawrence Taylor up there. And I wasn't surprised he went with Lawrence Taylor. And again, as you heard Coach Q said, he was a Tar Heel. And you know what? I remember having a conversation with Lawrence Taylor one time, and he was a defensive back that was on his team named Steve Streeter. And those guys were Carolina guys, and actually Steve Streeter used to date one of my cousins in North Carolina. So I had the opportunity to have dialogue with those guys, and this was, again, when they were seniors at Carolina, but great selection. So here's who, if you don't mind, I'm going to share a little bit of who I want to call out. Now, I'm a huge Steeler fan, but I'm not going to talk about the Steeler. I'm going to talk about a guy, his nickname was Sweetness. And you know who that is, Coach Quick.
Yes, sir. Walter Payton.
Watch out. None other than Sweetness himself. And guess what? He was drafted in 1975. He was a first-round draft pick, and he was number 4. He played his entire career with Chicago Bears. Now, here's the great thing, right, is in that the work ethic that he had. Now, it only resulted as a team winning only one Super Bowl. He was the MVP of the league in 1977. He was Offensive Player of the Year in 1977. He was the NFL Man of the Year, 5-time first team All-Pro. Also 3-time second team, 9-time Pro Bowl, NFL rushing leader back in 1977. And guess what? I'm going to drop this on you right here. See, he rushed for over 16,726 yards. He averaged 4 yards a carry. He had 110 touchdowns, receiving yards, 4,558, and he caught the ball 492 times, and he had 15 touchdowns that he caught. And guess what? He was elected to NFL or the Pro Football Hall of Fame, College Football Hall of Fame, and unfortunately, Walter died in actually November 1st, 1999 at the age of 46. So gone, entirely too soon. However, one thing that I will call out as we do this, that never understood why Coach Mike Ditka did not allow Sweetness to score a touchdown. I really fell out about that, Coach, when they put the fridge in. The fridge scored a touchdown and did not let Walter Payton score a touchdown when the Bears went on and actually just thrashed the New England Patriots. So in that, you got to take on that deal, or do you remember that again? That was some years ago, and not to tell you I'm an old guy, but he did not carry the ball across the end zone in the Super Bowl. Your thoughts?
No, I definitely remember it, and in 1985 Super Bowl, I believe it was, the Chicago Bears versus the New England Patriots. And I'll say this. My take on that was, I wanted to see Sweetness get a touchdown, but the offensive lineman in me, hey, I was super happy for William the Refrigerator Perry. Offensive lineman / defensive lineman. I was super excited for him because I remember a time that when I played for the Carthage Bulldogs, they gave me an opportunity to run the ball as an offensive lineman. So super excited thermostatic for the fridge.
I ain't messing around with you carrying. How many yards did you gain on that carry?
I probably had about. I carried twice for maybe about 4 yards because I was converting the 2-point conversion, and I scored, ladies and gentlemen. It was a great time.
Well, you know what? I ain't mad at you. And if we can go back and pull some footage, no, I'm just clowning. So, and I get it. You know what? In my playing days, I never had the opportunity to carry the ball. And as I look back, and of course, I was a defensive player, and I guess if I would have worked my position, I think I really, really would have liked to play. Would have been tight end. Because I thought I could catch the ball, but I guess I was just too big, and they always just put me down at the defensive tackle. So here you go. What I'm going to do, I want to kick it back over to you. I want to hear who your second person that you want to highlight from your Mount Rushmore of football.
Absolutely. I got to go with the QB, Tom Brady. You know, the GOAT is still playing, and career numbers are still counting. But as of right now, 84,520 yards, 624 touchdowns to 203 interceptions. A 97.6 QB rating with 2 teams. Brady was picked as a 6th-round pick, number 199 overall by the New England Patriots. 20 seasons as a starter, 3-time NFL MVP, a record 7 Super Bowl titles, and 5 Super Bowl MVPs. And those numbers are still counting, ladies and gentlemen. Tom Brady is back again for a 2nd season with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, 3rd season with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, excuse me. So get ready. More exciting things are yet to come for Tom Brady.
Wait, are you Tom Brady's agent?
Not at all, but hey, they should hire me though.
Because I was wondering, I was just like, I didn't know if you was like moonlighting with the GQ Coaches Show and you actually Brady's agent. But no, I appreciate you giving him a shout out. Actually, he is on my Mount Rushmore, even though I'm not going to highlight him, so I'm glad you did. But again, like we said in the beginning, we recognize talent. However, I'm not a Tom Brady fan, but I would be absolutely insane not to have Tom Brady on the Mount Rushmore of football. Now, you know what? I will tell you this. If I don't recognize this guy, anybody that knows me and knows that I bleed that black and gold out of the Steel City, they would probably run me out of Virginia and any other part of the state that I would roll in. So I want to recognize, in honor of my ability to play defensive line, I want to honor none other than the great Mean Joe Green. Actually, he was a defensive tackle. He wore number 75. He stood 6'4". Now, here's the crazy thing, Coach Quick. He was drafted in the 1st round, the 4th pick in 1969. So you fast forward, both of my guys were drafted round 1, pick 4. So was Walter Payton. Now, here's the thing that I really highlight as it relates to why Joe Green is on the Mount Rushmore of football, because number 1, he changed that entire organization. The Steelers were losers. They were just absolutely just pitiful. But in that, he came in, and you know what? He did what he was supposed to do, and he ran with the Steelers from 1969 to 1981, 4-time Super Bowl, 2-time NFL Defensive Player of the Year, NFL Defensive Rookie of the Year. 1969, he was the NFL Man of the Year, 5-time first team, 3-time second team, 10-time Pro Bowl, all-decade team, 75 anniversary team, 100 anniversary team, also all-time Steeler team, Pittsburgh Steelers Hall of Fame, and guess what? The Steelers only retire a few jerseys, and guess whose jersey is retired? None other than Mean Joe Green. Number 75 is retired. Played in 181 games. He started in 172. He recorded 75 sacks. You got to realize sacks weren't started when Green first started playing. He had 1 interception. He recovered 16 fumbles. Pro Football Hall of Fame, College Football Hall of Fame, and what really, really stands out, not just the Super Bowls, the things he does off the field. One of the greatest sports commercials ever is when he's walking in the tunnel and the kid is walking by him and has a Coke, and he says, "Hey, Mean Joe," and he stops and he drinks the Coke, and then he tosses the kid his jersey. So I remember that as a young kid, but to me, that's one of the best sports commercials ever made in modern day times, just because it recognizes a pro player that had that persona or that title, Mean Joe, and he humbles himself and he tosses a kid to jail. You remember that commercial, Coach Quick?
Yes, sir.
So in that, that's just my segue. So in that, what I want you to do, if you don't mind, let's run your Mount Rushmore again. I'll run mine, and then we'll see, and we'll go from there.
Yes, sir. Tom Brady, Lawrence Taylor, Jerry Rice, and Emmitt Smith.
So the only difference I had was Joe. All right, Coach, that's going to wrap up the game plan, and we want to thank our great friend Chris Montgomery of Alcova Mortgage. So when it's time to get in the game, call Chris Montgomery at 540-290-0558. There's a lot of reasons why people trust Chris Montgomery at Alcova Mortgage. They have a diverse lineup of loan programs. So whether you're looking to buy a home, refinance, or tackle college expenses with your equity, you can put Chris Montgomery at Alcova Mortgage in the game for you. Call 540-290-0558 or go online to alcova.com/C Montgomery.
Looking for something fun but different to do? Join a group of friends, family, or co-workers to destroy electronics, break some glass, or even throw some axes. At the Havoc House located downtown Waynesboro, Virginia, visit their website at havochouseva.com and book your appointment today.
The United States Basketball Association, the USBA, was founded in 2005. The USBA has been a leader in grassroots basketball tournaments and camps for boys and girls of all ages across the United States, Canada, and Puerto Rico. It is our goal to develop young people and equip them with skills that will help them advance both on and off the court. Visit their website at usbahoops.com. Their email is info@usbahoops.com or by telephone at 704-649-6812. All basketball, all the time. And thank you for playing USBA.
Looking for a smarter way to shop for your insurance for you and your families? Look no farther. There is help. With several different companies and plans to choose from, whether it's life insurance or Medicare supplemental plans, finding the right plan has never been easier. Licensed with multiple companies and able to shop various rates, plans to help find the best plan for you and your budget. Independent insurance broker Curtis Jackson is the one to call for help. Call Curtis now at 919-614-5796 for a no-cost consultation. Are you behind with your spring cleaning? Allow True Sparkle Cleaners to clean your worries away. A veteran-owned business who serves Fayetteville and surrounding areas, call Ashley at Sparkle Cleaners today for your free estimate. 910-781-8488, and we will clean your worries away.
So you know what? We've already talked about baseball. We talked about football. But what we get ready to get into now as we move into our timeout section, and we want to thank our great friends, okay? And who is your great friends that's bringing the timeout to you? It's the Havoc House of Waynesboro, Virginia. So make your appointment today at 540-447-1362 and come in swinging. So with that, Coach, as we get into the timeout section, we are going to be talking about the great sport of golf. Now, with that, I know you had a chance during the commercial break, to resharpen all of your tools as you get ready to move on down that mountain. So with that, tell our listening audience who is on your Mount Rushmore of golf.
My Mount Rushmore is as follows: Tiger Woods, Jack Nicklaus, Arnold Palmer, and Greg the Shark Norman.
Well, you know what, Coach? And people think that we may be sitting side by side. We're pretty close, but we ain't side by side. So mine is exactly what Coach Quick said, but instead of having Greg Norman, I had the one and only Mr. Bobby Jones. And somebody says, what? Mr. Bobby Jones. Now, here, if you don't mind, I'll take the lead, and I'm going to talk about my guy, And when I say my guy, Mr. Bobby Jones, and then I'll kick it back to you. Somebody said, why'd you pick Bobby Jones to be on your Mount Rushmore? Now, here's the thing. If anybody knows anything about golf, Coach, they know that Bobby Jones didn't play but so long, right? And I get that.
Yes,
and he only played, a few years, and guess what? And he died at an early age at 69 years old. But however, he did some great things. Okay, he went to Georgia Tech. He also, guess what? And in that, he had some major wins, right? He tied for the Masters in 1934. His best results was that he won 13 major championships. He won 4 U.S. Opens. He won 3 U.S. Opens. And the U.S. Amateur, he won 5 times. And then the British Amateur in 1930. He was elected to the Golf Hall of Fame in 1974. He is also, again, guess what? He went to ACC school. He went to Georgia Tech Engineering Hall of Fame. And also, he rose to the rank of lieutenant colonel, and he was in World War II. So Bobby Jones did what he needed to do, got in the game of golf, and got out at an early age. He stood 5'8", and he weighed 165 pounds. So he was not a big gentleman at all. But however, on the course, he could handle his business. He went to Georgia Tech, also Harvard University and Emory University. So Bobby Jones is my guy, or one of my guys, on the Mount Rushmore. I'm going to kick it over to you, Coach.
Yes. I'm going to go with the shark, Greg Norman, right here. My remembrance of Greg Norman, especially wearing the big wide brim hats out on the course, he just stood out to me for some reason. Okay, he had 91 career victories, 20 PGA Tour, 71 international, and others. 31 second-place finishes on the PGA Tour, 11 third-place finishes on the PGA Tour, 331 weeks at number 1, and he was inducted into the World Golf Hall of Fame in 2001. 2-time British Open champion, 5-time Byron Nelson Award winner, 3-time Arnold Palmer Award winner. I went with the shark, Greg Norman. Absolutely outstanding body of work on the PGA Tour and International Tour.
Well, you know what? Greg Norman's got some nice apparel, and I'm gonna go ahead and let you know is I've got one of those what I call the shark hats. Mine's white. With a nice little multicolored band and, of course, that logo. And you think about it, when people are branding themselves, I want to stop right here real quick. When people are branding themselves and they're able to come up with, take his profile, and when you look at it and they say the shark, you're like, you know what? He does kind of resemble, and be able to market that and really take it to another level. Now, here's what I want to do before we get into the other guys on Mount Rushmore is talk about what's going on in the PGA. And I know, you and I, we talked a little before we came on the air, but just how, everything has been shaken up and people are saying, man, what's really going on and why are they doing what they're doing? Think about this, okay? People want to call it out, but bottom line, it's money, Coach.
Absolutely.
It's just, somebody says, what? The LIV Golf is just, they're paying money. So hats off to Tiger Woods and also Roy McIlroy for going in and doing what they were doing to be able to do what? Really challenge the commissioners and the PGA Tour to kind of step up and pay some money, because why are people leaving? And people say, man, they shouldn't leave. But bottom line to it is they're doing what they're doing to earn money. And people, and I don't want to get into the whole, well, they should be loyal and they should continue to play for the PGA, but the PGA has recognized some things, and guess what they're doing? They're stepping up and they're sweetening the pot and paying some additional monies. So what's your take on that, Coach?
I absolutely agree with you, Coach Goins. And the PGA Tour, up under the guidance of Tiger Woods and Roy McIlroy, came up and they had a players only meeting, and the PGA has decided to add 12 tournaments that have purses between $15 million to $20 million, announced by the PGA Tour Commissioner Jay Mohannan. The players' commitment comes after a players-only meeting, as I said. And last week at the BMW Championship is where they held the meeting at. And this is their, they're coming out to try to counteract what the LIV Golf has done. So I commend the PGA Tour for stepping up to the challenge and realizing that they needed to make some changes, and they've done that. So let's go. Let's give these guys a chance to counteract what LIV Golf is doing, and let's just see what the PGA Tour has in store. Like I said, they've upped some of the purses of these events. The Arnold Palmer Invitation has been up to $20 million. Genesis Invitational, 20 million. The Century Tournament of Champions up to 15 million. The Players 25 million. The Memorial Tournament 20 million. The WGC Dell Technologies Match Play up to 20 million, as well as the 3 FedEx Cup playoff events. FedEx St. Jude Champions 20 million. BMW Championship 20 million. The Tour Championship 75 million. Hats off to the PGA Tour.
You know what? You're exactly right. I mean, somebody, they're sitting in there and they got, I'm going to use the phrase, they got called out. So they're opening up their purse and they got to make the pot sweeter to keep guys around. And if you're looking for me Monday, Coach, what I'm going to be doing, I'm going to be out on the golf course, working on my craft. Because, again, and that's just a side joke, folks. But in that, they are paying big money. And think about it. If you went to work and on your job or whatever you do for a living and people were able to sweeten the pot and kind of raise the bar, you step your game up. And think about it. The PGA also recognizes its popularity. And I think,
yes,
and in that, if this guy's bringing the fans out and they're spending money, you got to pay the guy. He may not win a tournament, and I understand there's appearance money and all that, but you know what? Don't hate the guy when he gets out or the lady and their craft, and they be able to do the things that they want to be able to do. So here's the thing. What I want to do right here, I want to just kind of highlight a couple things off of our Mount Rushmore golf. Just like you said, Arnold Palmer, I had Arnold Palmer. He was a Wake Forest grad, and people think about, and of course, he passed in 2016. But in that, Arnold lived to the age of 87. And anytime I hear somebody order a half and half tea, I think of none other than Mr. Arnold Palmer. And also, he's from Pittsburgh, Latrobe. So of course, people know the Steelers. That's where they do their training camp. And of course, Tiger Woods, no need to really go down Tiger's body of work. We know what Tiger's done. We wish him, recovery. And as he continues to work through everything that he's had to deal with, we certainly appreciate him. And one thing that I'm really excited about and what I loved is being able to see he and his son do what they did together, playing together. And then last but not least, of course, and I always loved the nickname that they gave this gentleman. That was none other than the Golden Bear, okay? And what a great support and what a great thing that Jack Nicklaus has always been able to do for the game of golf. He's the ambassador. He's looked upon very highly, and he should be. But when you walk in those hallowed grounds and you're out on the golf course and you're coming up 18 and you've won those championships, be able to, and I've always respected golf just because of that, Coach. When they're walking up the 18th hole and they're hitting, they're approaching the green, how they tip their hat, it's subdued, it's surreal. But these gentlemen have played the game, and I appreciate your Mount Rushmore and the things that you've been able to do in your research and pulling up these guys. So I'll toss it over to you for your comment.
Yes, sir. I tell you what, Coach G, just the world of golf, has been touched as we know it by the Live Golf organization. And for people that don't know what Live Golf is, it's a professional golf tour financed by the Public Investment Fund, the Sovereign Wealth Fund of Saudi Arabia. So that's where Live Golf is coming from. And some of the major names that were on the PGA Tour that had been suspended by the PGA Tour for going with Live Golf were Phil Mickelson, Sergio Garcia, Dustin Johnson, Ian Poulter, and Lee Westwood. But the PGA Tour, the guys on Mount Rushmore just had a great body of work. Some people may say, well, why did you go with Greg Norman? Well, I went with him because I was a Shark fan. Watching him on the course has been tremendous. As you said before, Tiger, great body of work. The Golden Bear, can't discredit what he did. I mean, just Jack Nicklaus was outstanding. And then, of course, Arnold Palmer. Great body of work from these guys.
You know what? You're exactly right. And for the folks that don't know, hey, guess what, Coach? Is in our hometown, the World Golf Hall of Fame is coming back to Pinehurst, North Carolina. So I've been reading up on that. People are excited. It was there. I remember as a kid taking a field trip out to the Golf Hall of Fame back in 1974. Yeah, so we're excited to have the Golf Hall of Fame to come back to our hometown, and that's Pinehurst, North Carolina. So as we start wrapping up the timeout section, we want to make sure that we give a shout out, and it is brought to you by the Havoc House of Waynesboro, Virginia. So make your appointment today at 540-447-1362 and come in swinging.
Looking for something fun but different to do? Join a group of friends, family, or co-workers to destroy electronics, break some glass, or even throw some axes. At the Havoc House located downtown Waynesboro, Virginia, visit their website at havochouseva.com and book your appointment today.
The United States Basketball Association, the USBA, was founded in 2005. The USBA has been a leader in grassroots basketball tournaments and camps for boys and girls of all ages across the United States, Canada, and Puerto Rico. It is our goal to develop young people and equip them with skills that will help them advance both on and off the court. Visit their website at usbahoops.com. Their email is info@usbahoops.com or by telephone at 704-649-6812. All basketball, all the time. And thank you for playing USBA. There's a lot of reasons why people trust Chris Montgomery at Alcova Mortgage. They have a diverse lineup of loan programs. So whether you're looking to buy a home, refinance, or tackle college expenses with your equity, you can put Chris Montgomery at Alcova Mortgage in the game for you. Call 540-290-0558 or go online to alcova.com/C Montgomery.
Are you behind with your spring cleaning? Allow True Sparker Cleaners to clean your worries away. A veteran-owned business who serves Fayetteville and surrounding areas, call Ashley at Sparkle Cleaners today for your free estimate, 910-781-8488, and we will clean your worries away. Looking for a smarter way to shop for your insurance for you and your families? Look no farther. There is help. With several different companies and plans to choose from, whether it's life insurance or Medicare supplemental plans, finding the right plan has never been easier. Licensed with multiple companies and able to shop various rates, plans to help find the best plan for you and your budget. Independent insurance broker Curtis Jackson is the one to call for help. Call Curtis now at 919-614-5796 for a no-cost consultation.
Hey, Coach, we're moving into our final segment, and this is called the Real Talk. And somebody said, what did you talk about the Real Talk? You will see as you continue to listen and support the GQ Coaches Show, you will find out what we do is we talk real talk about our sports, about life, and everything we got going. So this is brought to you by the United States Basketball Association. So please visit their website at usbahoops.com. They are the leader in youth basketball tournaments and camps. So register today. What a great organization. So with that, Coach, we are talking about, and we've been talking about through this entire show, our Mount Rushmore of sports. And last but not least is none other than the great game of basketball. So with that, I will toss it to you.
Yes, sir. On my Mount Rushmore, hey, I went with, in a lot of people's eyes, many people's eyes, the GOAT of basketball, Michael Jordan. I went with the great Magic Johnson, LeBron James, and the great Shaquille O'Neal.
Oh, wow. Wow, man. So you know what? This is going to be real talk, right? So in that, you know, and again, that Coach Quick, no, I'm just busting his chops a little bit. So here's my Mount Rushmore as it relates to basketball. So we're going with, you know what? Yeah, we do have somebody in common, and that's his airness. And, of course, not just because he's a Carolina guy, but Michael Jordan is on Coach Goins' Mount Rushmore. Another person on my Mount Rushmore is none other than Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. And the third member of my Mount Rushmore is the great Bill Russell, who just passed a couple weeks back. And then last but not least, my guy, and that's none other than Mr. Kobe Bryant. So with that, Coach, let's talk about this thing, man. So you got the airness on this. So we'll, if you don't mind, we'll just kind of park him off to the side and let's talk about somebody else that you selected.
Okay, Coach D, I went with Shaquille O'Neal for one, he was one of my favorite players that I was able to watch. And also, we're going to be talking about the Ultimate Dream Team on this show as well today. So I could not put Shaq on my Mount Rushmore and without putting him on my Ultimate Dream Team. I went with Shaq because he's the most dominant player that I've ever seen play the game. And as I said, one of my favorite players. 1,207 games played, 34.7 minutes per game. Career averages of 23.7 points per game, 58.2 field goal percentage, 10.9 rebounds, 2.5 assists per game. Played for 6 teams over a 19-year career. 4-time NBA champion, 3-time NBA Finals MVP, 2000 to 2002, NBA MVP 2000, 15-time NBA All-Star, 93 to 98, 2000 to 2007, and 2009. 3-time All-Star Game MVP, 2000, 2004, and 2009. 8-time NBA All-First Team, 98, 2000 to 2006. 2-time All-NBA Second Team, 95, 1999. 4-time All-NBA Third Team, 94, 96, 97. Those were the early years of his career, as well as 2009. 3-time NBA All-Defensive Team, Second Team, 2000, 2001, 2003. NBA Rookie of the Year in 1993. All-NBA Rookie First Team, 1993. 2-time NBA Scoring Champion, 95 and 2000. NBA Anniversary Teams of the 50th and 75th version. Number 34 retired by the Lakers. Number 32 retired by the Miami Heat. As well as an Olympic gold medalist on Dream Team 2.
You know what? Sounds like you must be a Shaq guy. I'm just busting you, man. I'm busting you. So you know what? You went hard. Guess what I'm gonna do?
Yes, sir.
I'm gonna come hard at you. So here's who I'm gonna highlight, and I'm just not highlighting him because he just passed, but I'm gonna highlight him because he won 11 NBA championships, and I'm talking about none other than Mr. Bill Russell. 5 times NBA valuable player, 12-time NBA All-Star. Right? And here's the thing, Coach, and you know this, and I ain't telling you this. I ain't telling you nothing that you don't already know. As a coach, he won the NBA championship 2 times, and guess what? It was back to back. People talk about people talk about the bad boys of Detroit. I'm talking about them bad boys up there in Beantown. The Celtics won the NBA championship. Watch this now. 1968, 1969. Bill Russell was the coach with no assistant coach, and he had some great players on that team. So let me keep rolling. So 8-time NBA second team. He was all defensive team, 4-time NBA rebounder champion, NBA Lifetime Award. The Celtics retired his number. He was a 2-time NCAA champion, NCAA most outstanding player. He was the College Player of the Year. The list goes on. Number 6 was retired by the San Francisco Dons. He was in 2011 he was awarded the Presidential Medal of Freedom. He scored 14,000 points, 21,000 rebounds, 4,100 assists. He had a career winning percentage as a coach at 54. So just outstanding body of work. Of course, he was elected to the Hall of Fame. He's in the FIBA Hall of Fame, and he went back to the Hall of Fame as a coach. You know what? Just a tremendous body of work. And then think about what he did when he was doing it. That is my guy, Mr. Bill Russell. Just want to recognize, because a lot of times people think, it's all about winning championships. Anyway, and I get that. But when you win 11 championships, that is pretty awesome. And we certainly appreciate his entire body of work, Coach, as relates to that. So who's your next guy?
I got to go with LeBron James.
Go ahead.
Career stats: games played 1,366, 38.2 minutes per game, 27.1 points per game, 50.5 field goal percentage, 7.5 rebounds per game, 7.4 assists per game, 4 NBA championships, 4 MVP awards, 4 NBA Finals MVP awards, 3-time All-Star, scored the most points in the playoffs, 2nd most career points, 7th most career assists, 18-time NBA All-Star, All-NBA a record 18 times, All-NBA a record 18 times, NBA All-Defensive First Team 5 times. He competed in 10 NBA Finals, third most all-time, included 8 consecutively between 2011 and 2018. He's a member of the 75th anniversary team, and his numbers are still counting as he entered year 20 with the Los Angeles Lakers. And he's soon going to pass Kareem Abdul-Jabbar in career scoring as long as he continues to stay healthy.
You know what, Coach? You're exactly right. Even though Kareem has got what he's got, LeBron stays healthy. And when I pull my stats up right here, when you really look at this and you say, man, how many does Kareem Abdul-Jabbar points? Kareem has scored 38,387 points. So he averaged 24.6, 17 boards, 5,600 assists. That's absolutely incredible by the big fella, and used to be called the captain by none other than the Los Angeles Lakers. So what we're going to do, step away, but we want to continue the Real Talk session that is brought to you by the United States Basketball Association. Visit their website at usbahoops.com. The United States Basketball Association, the USBA, was founded in 2005. The USBA has been a leader in grassroots basketball tournaments and camps for boys and girls of all ages across the United States, Canada, and Puerto Rico. It is our goal to develop young people and equip them with skills that will help them advance both on and off the court. Visit their website at usbahoops.com. Their email is info@usbahoops.com or by telephone at 704-649-6812. All basketball, all the time. And thank you for playing USBA. There's a lot of reasons why people trust Chris Montgomery at Alcova Mortgage. They have a diverse lineup of loan programs. So whether you're looking to buy a home, refinance, or tackle college expenses with your equity, you can put Chris Montgomery at Alcova Mortgage in the game for you. Call 540-290-0558 or go online to alcova.com/C Montgomery.
Looking for something fun but different to do? Join a group of friends, family, or co-workers to destroy electronics, break some glass, or even throw some axes. At the Havoc House located downtown Waynesboro, Virginia, visit their website at havochouseva.com and book your appointment today.
Play to Defeat ALS, USBA Capel Basketball Camp in Fayetteville, North Carolina, September the 17th, 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. on the campus of Fayetteville State University. Open to all boys and girls, grades 3rd through the 12th. All proceeds go to the Jeff Capel ALS Research Fund at Duke University. Register today at usbahoops.com. Click on camps or call 704-649-6812. All right, so we're back in, and we want to thank our sponsor, and that is the USA Basketball Association. And make sure you check out the Capel Camp and register. And you know what? Go to the website at usbahoops.com. Coach Quick, I know we're talking about those NBA guys, and we're still in Real Talk, so go ahead with your dream team.
Yes, sir. My ultimate dream team is starting forward, LeBron James, Tim Duncan, Shaquille O'Neal, Michael Jordan, and Magic Johnson.
You know what? I ain't mad at you. And guess what? I'm going to run. I'm going to splash. So that's your 5. And guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to splash in there Abdul-Jabbar. I'm going to splash in there Julius Erving. I'm going to splash in there I'm going to splash in there Larry Bird. And my point guard, somebody said, who's your point guard? Nate Tiny Archibald. And somebody says, are you mad? No, Nate Tiny Archibald. And my 2 guard is going to be none other than Oscar Robertson. So somebody says, what? So guess what? That's a little bit of the old, the new. And guess what, Coach? You know, and here's my honorable mention for that team. Can I go ahead and give?
Yes, sir.
Karl Malone. And somebody says Karl Malone. Yes. Also, Mr. Curry, we'll give him and we'll give him a splash out there. But ultimately, guess what? Somebody goes, man, how did y'all come up with that? Because Coach Quick and I, we're sitting around, we're dialoguing, and ultimately the thing is, guess what? We wanted to be able to, show our listening audience who we are and be transparent in that. Coach, your thoughts?
Yeah, absolutely. And I went with a couple of honorable mention guys as well. I went with Karl Malone, Kobe Bryant, Isaiah Thomas, Hakeem Olajuwon, and Larry Bird.
You know what? That's exactly right. So all those guys, now you know what? You put them guys on the plane, you go anywhere in the world, and you tell me if you ain't going to come back up out of there with some major, major W. So listen, you know what? As we start. All right, Coach, as we start wrapping the show up, man, you know what? We've touched a little bit of everything. We've touched football, basketball, baseball, and the world of golf. And we would be remiss if we wouldn't stop and give just talk about the other sports that we didn't highlight today. So I'm going to kick it to you, and let me hear who do you think, when I say other sports, meaning more of the single athlete, who else would be on your Mount Rushmore?
Without a doubt, Muhammad Ali. For boxing, Serena Williams, tennis, and Michael Phelps for swimming.
Well, you know what? Wow. I don't think I'm saying that is wow. So he's exactly right. So think about that Mount Rushmore of just athletes. So we went down through baseball, we went down through golf, and we've touched everything. And then now we've got none other than the greatest of all time as Miss Serena Williams, who recently announced her retirement, and then Mr. Michael Phelps. So with that, as we start to wrap up, just kind of want to give you a little insight of actually who Coach Goins is, and I'll kick it over to Coach Quick for his comment. So you hear the title, Coach Goins, that is right. I did coach high school basketball several years ago. And I've coached AAU teams in the local market. Again, we are just so excited for the opportunity and in partnership with ESPN and our sponsors, and we want to thank all of them for their support. And again, as I first, kicking everything off this week. But in that, a shout out to some of my mentors. That's Mr. Ansel Graham, the late Ansel Graham, back from Pinecrest High School. The coaches, and that's Mr. Carl Simon, the late Jeff Capel. And everybody that I coached with during my tenure at Union Pines High School, and also, the travel coaches, and also a great friend of mine, and that's Mr. Ray Eppert, along with my family and the support and the staff of Basketball More Than the Game. So with that, I'll kick it over to Coach Quick.
Yes, I'm Coach Quick, as you heard from Coach Goins. I played for Coach Goins some 26 years ago as a starting defensive tackle. He was my position coach. I also went back as a volunteer coach and coached on the basketball team. Just like to give a shout out to him first and foremost, as well as Coach Carl Salmon, who gave me an opportunity to be a part of the Union Pines basketball program. And I'd like to give a shout out to my middle school basketball coach, who first believed in me and gave me an opportunity, and that's Steve Lassiter, as well as my family. Thank you all. Thank our sponsors. Hey, I'm just embracing this partnership and loving every minute of it.
You know what, Coach? That is well said. So again, we hope that you've been able to, sit back on this Monday evening. Enjoy whatever you were doing. I hope your day was great, your travel was great, and spend time with your loved ones. So with that, Coach Quick, get us to the locker room.
For Coach Goins, I'm Coach Quick. We'll see you in the locker room.
You've been listening to Basketball More Than a Game with Coach Goins and Coach Quick. Our podcast is available on podbean.com.